Hi, welcome everyone. Today we're talking to Naude Dreyer. He's from Ocean Conservation Namibia. First off, welcome Naude, and tell us about your organization.
Hey Priya, thank you so much. So we started Ocean Conservation Namibia only in the beginning of this year. It's been born from basically a need we've seen around here. We've got a huge problem with marine debris, pollution, ghost nets, basically general rubbish in the ocean. We've been catching seals for the last 8 years, disentangling a lot of seals. We have a huge problem with seals getting entangled in nets and lines and things, and caught a lot of seals over the last few years. And we've now decided that what we're doing is we're treating the symptom to the problem, and we need to get to the root of it. So we've started this organization to raise awareness of the problem and see what we can do to try and change this.
And one of the things you do is, like what you just said, is rescuing seals. And I'm going to show a video. While I show it, maybe you can tell us something about it. Okay. This is one where, yeah.
Okay, so what's happening here, we're driving along the beach. We've got a colony of around 60,000 seals close to where I live. We drive along the beach with binoculars, and we look for seals with entanglements on them like this. You can see this one stuck in a piece of fishing line.
Yeah.
So we see them, we run into the group, we grab the seal, cut them loose. This guy was quite lucky, and as you can see, he was really friendly. He didn't run away. Normally they're quite scared of us, so he didn't run away. He stopped to, we like to say, he said thank you. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. This seal was also really small. We're catching, he was maybe 20 kilograms. We're getting a lot of seals that are much bigger than this. We've got seals up to about 180 kilograms. We've got a big specialized net that we use for these kind of captures. So we go and we catch them in the net. We've got a lot of specialized tools we use, and yeah, this is what we do pretty much every day. Yesterday alone, we caught 13 different seals. It's crazy. The problem is huge at the moment.
Yeah, because you're saying there's like the population is 60,000 where you live, and so are there any numbers about how many seals die of by fishing nets or plastics, or are there any numbers available?
Not really. No, this is so. For the last year and a half now, I've been working with a couple of scientists. So I've got what I call my homework every afternoon. I come home, I need to log all the entanglements. See, that's our net. There's another seal. Oh, yeah. We in this rescue we caught two. So we got one in the net, and we saw another one. So once it's in the net, he can't escape. Put him in the net. Quickly went to grab the other one, cut him loose, and then came back to this guy in the net. But yeah, as I said, we're logging all the entanglements. Everything gets kept. We're trying to create data. There's a couple of different scientists writing papers about this, and we need some more conclusive data. So that is, I'm working alongside researchers all the time now.
And how did you, because this looks also kind of dangerous. Is it dangerous what you're doing? Because seals, yeah, because they bite, right? A seal bites.
They do. If you search further back in the videos, you'll see 1 or 2 videos of me getting bitten as well. I've been bitten a few times, never too badly. This is just a piece of on dock workers that normally have these high visibility suits on with reflective strips, and that's just a piece of reflective strip. So this is some clothing that was thrown overboard by a boat, and this ended up around a seal. It's got no stretch in it, and was actually starting to cut into his skin.
Whoa.
So yeah, no, I get bitten every once in a while. Luckily, it's never been too serious yet. Never needed stitches or anything, and I'm so backed up on tetanus shots that I've been bitten by all kinds of animals over the years. So yeah, we do exercise a lot of caution. It might not always look like it, but we are very careful what we do. We use specialized gloves and equipment. We use the net also to help us prevent getting bitten. But seals generally are not aggressive animals, but when they're cornered or when you block his access to the ocean, his impulse is to fight. So we need to work around that. Yeah.
And is it so? You've been doing this for a while now. Do you? Because I've seen a few of your videos, and you see like the seals run away instantly. Like whenever you've cut them loose, they run because they look really scared or they try to bite you. But because you've been doing it on the same beach, do they know by now you're coming, or is that like a human thought?
No, that is unfortunately quite a human. we don't want them to know that, because that would mean they're getting habituated to us, and we want them to stay as wild as possible. So no, it's a good thing that they're still scared of us. They mustn't trust humans. They mustn't get too close. And no, some days they're really chilled and they'll let us get quite close. Other days they just run like crazy when they see us 200 meters away. They're still a very wild population, and we like it that way.
And what has been the worst case of plastic and entanglement you've seen?
Oh man, there's been some really bad ones. 2 weeks ago we had a little pup. He must have had this on for a couple of months, and he was cut really bad, like I want to say almost down to the bone, right through his skin, through his flesh, in his muscle, and like he had 3 big cuts across his body and around his flipper. So the bad cuts are really bad. We've had some massive nets before. We had one seal that looked like an entire soccer net. It was about 20 or 30 kilograms of netting that we took off this poor seal. He was really thin, like he couldn't swim at all anymore. He was lying on the beach. He would have died very soon if we hadn't caught him. So yeah, we've had all kinds of things. Quite a popular thing is hats for some reason. Seals getting stuck in hats, clothing, construction clothing, or like ship oil worker clothing. These like coverall jackets and things. Had a seal stuck in a toilet seat lid once. Paint buckets, like the rims from the paint bucket. So yeah, all kinds of things. Like anything, they're very playful animals. So any rubbish they pick up in the ocean, they play with it like puppies. So they swim through it, and get stuck. And then as they grow, it just starts to cut into their skin.
And do you, because you cut them loose, do you also take them to a vet when it's necessary, or that option isn't there?
We don't really have any rehabilitation center for these kind of animals in Namibia, not yet. That is one of our future plans for Ocean Conservation Namibia, is to actually set up a secondary care system for the very bad cases. I'm in consultation with vets and marine biologists all over the world, and generally they agree that salt water is very antibacterial, antiseptic. It's one of the best ways to cure the animal. So we've actually never found an animal dead after we've released it. So we take that as a good sign. Right now we've just been, yesterday I was really tempted to bring one home, but we need to get proper protocols in place first. Trying out different medications. I've actually got some medicine now on the way from the UK. It's all been stuck in customs for the last 2 months. Just to put a bit of like a disinfectant, like a primary care on. But yeah, those are future plans. We would like to be able to do more follow-up care for these animals in the future.
And you've had a really busy weekend, including today, right? You've rescued, I think, over the weekend, 23 animals, you said, or?
We had 21 seals. We had 8 on Saturday and 13 yesterday. So that's crazy. It's absolutely just phenomenal how many entanglements there are at the moment.
Yeah, so there's no decline in it or something. You just keep going. If you keep finding every day, that means they're getting stuck every day in.
Yeah, basically. Then this is a very bad time of year, because all the pups are all born in December every year, November, December, and they're reaching an age now where they are getting they're leaving home a lot more. So they go deeper and deeper into the ocean every day to go and play. They're still nursing from their moms. They're still drinking from their moms, but they'll go out and do their thing and go and explore. And while they're exploring and playing, they're picking up this rubbish. So the further they go, the more vulnerable they are to these entanglements. So this is a really bad time of year. So the good thing is, because we're there so often now, we're catching them early. So the entanglements are quite fresh on them and they haven't started doing damage yet. So we're just trying to stay on top of that now, just to catch them before they get really hurt.
And you have a team. You work with another guy, your wife, and your children sometimes also help, I saw.
Yeah, my kids love coming along. Antoine has been here since March. He is a crew on Sea Shepherd. He just came for a quick little visit to come and help me, because he's been here before, and he got stuck here 3 months ago and hasn't been allowed to leave because of the lockdown. So it's worked out really great for me. He's a really good co-pilot to have out there, and we sort of understand each other well. We've got the system really well down. Yeah, my wife is a very integral part of the team. She's the brains behind the whole operation. She's German, so she makes sure everything is done properly. And yeah, my kids, they are now 7, 9, and 10, but they're really keen. They love coming out with us and helping wherever they can.
And what would you if other people were to do this at their beaches, like starting to help seals, would you advise it? Like, did you have any training in this before you started it? Did it just came naturally to you?
No, it's something I just took upon myself. I've never seen it being done before. And just a few days ago, I was looking back at some of our old videos, and man, it was a joke. It was so funny how we were running around, falling, trying to catch these animals, putting towels over their heads. And no, it's something that's taken us a long time to get to this point. It's not an easy practice that I would recommend to anyone to do. If you've got any experience handling animals, the right equipment, by all means. But most other countries have a proper infrastructure. They've got people in place to do this kind of work. So it's always best to just try and report it, keep an eye on the animal until somebody who knows what they're doing can come and help.
But then you're based in Namibia, but then there's also other parts at beaches, right? Or is the biggest population of seals at the beach you work at?
No, so we've only got access to about 5% of the population. There's close on 2 million seals in Namibia.
Wow.
And the colony that we're on is about 50%. Ranges between about 30 and 100,000 seals. So yeah, so we're not really, and most of the other colonies are in big national parks that actually have no access. You're not allowed in there. So that is part of the plan. We're trying to work with the government now to be allowed access to try and check out the other colonies as well.
And what does the you mentioned the government? Do they help you, or do they fund you in any way with this?
No, seals are not an endangered species in any way. It's not a priority species. They're aware of the work I'm doing, and they're happy to have me helping out. But they've got a lot more environmental concerns with things like rhinos and poaching and drought relief at the moment.
Yeah, true.
Big issue we've got a lot of issue with human wildlife conflict management. So like wild lions coming into farms and stealing livestock and then being shot. So they've got a lot of issues. So I'm hoping that they're happy for me to just take this headache off their shoulders.
Okay, and then your YouTube channel, because you've, like I said, like I got to know you because my brother follows you on YouTube, and you've, in a few weeks, you've gone from a few thousand to more than 150,000 subscribers, I think. The video I just showed has been watched over 40 million times. What have been the responses to your work, and did it take you by surprise that it went so big so fast?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a shock. We're not expecting it. We were hoping to build up the YouTube channel because it's an awesome platform for us to spread the message. Mm-hmm. And we've been working hard on it for the last few months, especially because of the lockdown. We've had extra time to actually put some effort into it. And we managed to, then just overnight, one morning, my wife just woke up and said, like, listen, something's happening here. It's just the views are just spiking. And just, it's like 2 weeks ago, just in the last 2 weeks, we've gone from 4,000 subscribers to 150,000 subscribers and all these views. So it's great. It's the response has been amazing. I mean, you always get your trolls commenting weird, ridiculous things, but the general response is always really good. We've got a very, very high thumbs up compared to thumbs down rating. So
yeah, I can't even imagine why someone would thumbs down this. Like, that's a weird thing to thumbs down. Yeah. But the response, like, do you also get people asking, like, to do the same, or to help you, or to come watch you, or what kind of responses do you get?
Get a lot of requests for people who want to come and help and volunteer, and it's really nice that people want to be involved and with the best intentions. It's great, but again, we're doing very specialized work. We can't just have anybody jumping in there. I can't risk having people getting bitten. We do plan on bringing in a volunteer program in the future. So I always just tell people, hang on, just follow our newsletter on our website. Keep up to date on social media. When the time comes, we would love to have some volunteers. And we'd also like to, one of our future plans is maybe a rehabilitation center for the seals as well. And that would need some extra help. So yeah, our organization is very new. It's all grown so quickly. So we're still trying to find our feet. Yeah.
Perfect. And So just to end it with, like, we have no time difference, but do you go out like at 7 o'clock in the morning, or how does your day look? Like, you go out, you'll take the truck, and you do this 7 days a week also?
So like at the moment we've lost a few days last week. We had some really crazy winds, really hot, dry winds in the middle of winter. We get our hottest weather. Actually, we get these berg wind conditions. So we lost 4 days in a row. But generally we'll try and do like 2 days out there and give the seals a bit of a break. We don't want to put too much stress on the group. So we like to, we have a good feeling. We can sort of sense their mood when we're there, and if we've been there too much, then we'll stay back for a day or two and then go out again. But try and get out there at least 4 or 5 times a week. And we wake up an hour before it's light, leave, and we try and get there at sunrise, because they're the calmest sort of at sunrise and sunset.
And if you like, I'm sure that happens, and I think I saw a video of that too, but like, what if you like miss one, like you run after it and you miss it? And I saw one where you went back for it again, like you went back to catch it, the seal. But what if you actually miss it? How, like, do you feel, I'm sure you feel bad then, or like, how does it work?
We get really upset with ourselves. Tony and I stop talking to each other, and we get really upset with ourselves. And we make a point of looking for these animals. So no, we don't. We do miss seals occasionally. Sometimes they're just too close to the water, too big and strong, and then we just double our efforts. We make an extra point of trying to find that specific animal. Usually we do end up getting them. A lot of we got that one about 2 weeks ago. We called him Houdini, because we chased him like 5 times. He was just so fast. He kept slipping away from us, and eventually we got him. So we're really happy about that. But no, we do take it very personal. Everyone we miss, we get very upset.
Yeah, I can imagine. Thank you so much for this interview. I'll put all your information for people who want to follow your YouTube channel also in the description. And good luck. You have a lot of plans. So you've told us in this, like, a lot of plans coming. And you just started with this organization. Already you're quite big. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been really, really cool chatting. And watch the space. I'm sure if you'll have me again, I'm happy to talk, and we can see how this thing progresses in the future.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Cool. Bye-bye.